Hi everyone, welcome back to Borough Country. I'm Peter, and this is just going to be a short video on the Ergon bike grips, hand grips for your bike. So this is the GP5L, and I'm going to explain the purpose of this and what I'm going to do with it. So I've been looking around at hand grips for my bike because I was finding a little bit uncomfortable. Not so much that I know there's people that complain they get numb hands and things, but it wasn't so much that. It was on longer rides. I was actually feeling I had to move my hands around quite a bit to actually just sort of give them a break from the same position. And I tended to put my hands over the ends of the handlebars, and in that case you've got hands on either side. It wasn't really that stable. You're kind of riding like that. So I've been having a look around and I found these. So this is the Ergon GP5L, as I said. So these got pretty good reviews. So the difference between these and the hand grips I've got, so the standard hand grips I've got here, which are quite good, they're quite comfortable, is this. They have this extended bar on it. Now the GP5 has that extended bar on it, and the other models in it, the GP1, it starts off with, really it's just that hand grip, like so. And then as you go up the models, it has a different kind of attachment for the end of it. And the GP5 being the top of the range one is this longer one, and it also has this piece here that goes inwards. And I kind of like the idea of that because it means that you've got this hand grip here, you've got one at the side, and you've got one at the top. So I kind of like the fact that you can move your hand around a bit and give your hands a break. So this has got, it's a very good build quality. It feels very solid. Good rubber grip here. It does have rubber inserts into the upright part. There's none at the top, but there is on the sides there, so that's pretty good. Now the other part about this is that you can set the angle of the pad here, and I'll explain this in a sec, but there's an extended pad on this which is bigger than the one that came with my bike, so I kind of like that as well. And then you've got this upright here, and then that upright you can adjust where that actually goes, so you can set that up before you lock it up, and it's a lock-on one, so it does use an Allen key or a hex key, and you do tighten it up with that, so it locks into position. So before we go further, just another little part of this is that you can take the end cap off these, and when you take the end cap off, you can put that back on without the end cap, so now it's got the hole through. So if you're using a mirror on your bike and it's one of those ones that goes and mounts into the handlebar, you can still do that. So once you've set this up, you lock it into place, you can still put your mirror in there, and away you go. This cap, just remember when you're putting it back, it's got a little tag on it, so you do have to put it like a key. You've got to put it back in exactly the right position there, so to pop it back in. So it just pops back in place like that. So that's it. Ergon GP5 hand grip, and I'm going to put them on now. Now a couple of things about hand grips that I've learnt in the short time. So I'm not a bike expert, I'm not a bike fitting expert, and as you would have seen in my video when I purchased the Dyson, I actually had it professionally set up for me. This is actually pretty good, and absolutely no faults in the way this was set up. In fact, it's set up in a way that I would never imagine doing it, and it's actually really, really good. I'm very comfortable on it. But I did have this issue with moving my hands around a bit. So I've done a bit of research, and on this, the first bit is the hand grip itself. Now they have these pads on it, and on the Ergon, they're extended, these pads, which means you've got a bigger place there that your palm's going on, and it just makes for a more comfortable grip. The other thing is that these come in two sizes. So this is the GP5L. There's also a small, so L is for large, this is for and there's an S for small. The only difference is all this is exactly the same. It looks exactly the same, it's the same size. The difference is the diameter of this, how thick the rubber is. So they say if you've got a hand size from small to medium, then you would use the small size, and if you've got a large to extra large size hand, you would use the large size. My hand size is exactly in the middle between medium and large, so it's actually the top of the medium size and the bottom of the large size. So I've gone for large. The other reason why is that in some of the write-ups that I've read, is that if you're going to do longer distance riding, rather than like if you're commuting or whatever, and you're not necessarily mountain bike riding, but longer distances, having the larger diameter may give you a more comfortable grip. So I've taken a bit of a gamble when I bought these, and I've gone for the larger size, and it actually feels quite fine to me, so that looks pretty good. It doesn't tell you how thick the thin ones are, so the website doesn't even tell you. It just tells you that this is the glove size, and that's how it works. So these are about, it doesn't seem to be exactly consistent all the way around, but it's about 4.5 mils thick, that wall there. So I don't know what the small size would be, so, but it would be less than that. This pad here, and what the purpose of that pad is. So when you're riding a bike and you put your hands on a handlebar, you'll hear people, they say, I've heard quite a few now saying, oh, my hands go numb after a while. Now your hands go numb for a reason, and the reason is, in most cases, will be because they're compressing the ulnar nerve, and the ulnar nerve runs down here. That's the side your ulnar's on, the bone here. The ulnar nerve runs down here, goes through the ulnar tunnel, comes up through the palm, and goes up either side of this little finger and the inside of that finger there, or the lateral aspect of that finger, a little bit of your palm, and also the dorsal, the back of your palm here. So what happens is that if you put your hand like this and you keep it like that and you push on it all the time for a while, it's going to compress the nerve. So if you're riding a bike and your hand grip is like that on the grip, and you've got this sort of very extended sort of way you've got your wrist here, you're actually going to stretch that nerve and you're going to cause some compression on it, and after a while it's going to go numb. So that side of your hand will start to go numb. So one of the reasons this exists is to help you align where your hand should be. So because when you put your hand on it, it's very comfortable. You put your hand like that, that pad is actually covering the whole part of my hand here, right back to the wrist almost. And when you put that on, if you put it on in the correct position, so you put that on the bike in the correct position like so, then you will have a rest there that will hold your wrist, so you're not actually even tempted to do this because it's in the way. So how you should have it is that the grip is like this, and your wrist should be, reasonably straight down here. It should not be extended like this, right? So, or the other way. It should be kind of in alignment. So that's what you're looking for, and that will help reduce that nerve compression. So that's the first part. So when I do that, I'm going to put those on. You really should be on the bike and get them in a line. These ones have already been set up. I noticed that the other one's already not quite straight, so that's okay. I'm going to have to do a bit of working on it. And once you put them on, you might have to loosen them off and adjust them and find that right spot for you when you're actually up and riding. The other thing is that you can adjust this part. So you're also got to work out, where do I want that best? So you just got to remember that wherever it is, it's got to be easy to move to, and that you've got no brakes up here. So unlike a bike that might have lever brakes here, and a road bike that has lever brakes down low, you've got no brakes up here. So wherever this is, you need to be able to know that you're comfortable to drop your hand back down onto here. So it might be quite a way forward, it might be up. It just depends on how you feel comfortable. And I imagine I'm going to have to do a bit of adjusting after I do it. So let's get into this. So now the other things these have on the bottom, I just want to show you this, is that there are some markers on the bottom here, and that means that you can set one side and then look at how many lines there are out and then match it up for the other side. So one, two, three, four. It's just on the fifth one for me, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's it. So they're on, and then you've got those grips as well, and they're very solid. So there's no movement in there. In fact, the only movement I'm getting there is off the head here. So that feels really good to me like that. So we'll just have to see how it goes when I take it out for a ride. But I really like that idea. So I took the bike out for a quick ride and a quick test ride after installing the hand grips, and they're very comfortable, very comfortable. I might need to adjust them just slightly around a little bit, but I found them very comfortable to ride with and very easy to grip, so that larger size was no problem for me. Also gave them a quick demo with holding onto the forward handles upright, and then on the top section, which is also really quite comfortable to hold on to. Just checking to see whether I could actually reach the brake quickly or not, so you just got to remember that you don't have brakes right near you, so it's probably not a good idea to ride anywhere in traffic with your hands up there, but down on the bottom it's fine. So yeah, and I found that really quite comfortable, especially on the top section. So on that top curve they were very comfortable to hold on to, so yep, very successful. Thanks for joining me on Borough Country. See you next time.